Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on KREM 2 News at 5 o'clock. I'm Tom Sherry. Mark and Whitney are off this evening. Well, after 18 months, a large homeless camp in the East Central neighborhood is now gone. KREM 2 has been following this story since the beginning. We've watched the camp grow to over 600 people. There were 600 people living at the camp at its height, and that happened last summer. Now, all is left is just a couple of people. Matter of fact, the last person left last night. The homeless encampment posed challenges for the city and the state as they struggled to find a solution to get the camp cleared. Neighbors complained of crime and trash. KREM 2's Nathan Hyun is at the now empty camp with the next step for cleaning up that lot.
What was once Washington's largest homeless encampment is now clear. All that's left is the fence, some porta potties, and some bits of trash. I'm told that the last person left here at 6:30 this morning.
Right about here. I had a pretty big tent. I was fortunate.
Chris Sen was one of the first people to move into the I-90 homeless encampment.
I moved into camp about a month after it opened, and I was here till I moved out of camp back in December.
Now, 18 months later, the camp is cleared.
It's surreal. You know, I didn't think we'd get it closed as quick as we did and get as much help out as we did.
Julie Garcia from Jules Helping Hands says their last camper moved out at 6:30 this morning.
As service providers, we were able to do the work that was necessary, and that's proof is in that pudding of as soon as the lawsuits subsided and the rhetoric subsided, we were able to just put our heads to the ground and house people.
There were once more than 400 people who were badged and living at the camp. Through resources and service providers, many of those people were able to find jobs and housing.
200 plus people from the 467 have received some sort of housing. 150 plus of them have received employment.
But for the others that haven't found housing yet.
And that's where our next journey is to re-engage those folks and provide the same services for them as well.
The journey to clear out the camp hasn't been an easy one. Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward says they've finally been able to get to this point because of the resources the homeless now have.
We have people that are no longer living in a field because there are better options for them. This has been a long time to get to this place.
As for Chris,
So Jules saved my life.
he's currently living in the Catalyst Project.
All of us came together as a team, and that's what it takes. Just everybody needs to help everybody, and you can make it happen.
And for his next goal,
I'm going to try to start school this fall to become an SUD, and hopefully do more schooling after that and get into social work.
as soon as the last person left this morning, crews already began clearing up the camp, and WashDOT tells me that this will be the future site of the North-South Freeway. In Spokane, Nathan Hyun, KREM 2 News.
KREM 2 News also checked in with people who live near Camp Hope, many who have often complained about an increase in crime and drugs. Some neighbors credit Spokane County Sheriff John Knowles for keeping a promise to make the camp go away. Others say it was Jules Helping Hands and the work that the group that work has done over the last 18 months. No matter who they thank for the closure, people who live near the camp are just glad that it is gone.
The drug deals, finding foils, hypodermic needles right in our front yard. It's just nice that everything's gone.
So when our crew was at Camp Hope earlier today, security was still posted outside the fence. Well, we'll have more coverage of the homeless crisis here in Spokane. It's available right now on KREM 2 Plus. You can stream our in-depth look at the start of Camp Hope and how it grew to be the largest homeless camp in the state. KREM 2 Plus is free to download, and it's available on Roku and Amazon Fire. Switching gears to take a look at the weather following yesterday and last night's strong thunderstorms, another round of thunderstorms may be headed our way. We send it over to meteorologist Michelle Boss with more on what we can expect tonight and into the weekend. Michelle.
Yeah, in the Spokane area, we've seen more light rain, less stormy weather today so far, and have actually had kind of a lull over the last several hours. But we're still not completely out of the woods yet, and we're seeing some stormy weather mainly across the Idaho Panhandle at the current hour. As we take a look at satellite and radar, there is a band of showers just south of I-90 that's moving up towards our area in Spokane. Not a lot of lightning associated with that, but on the Idaho side, we do have a pretty potent storm that's just pushed north of Potlatch. It's currently east of Highway 95, going to be pushing into St. Mary's, and there's actually a severe thunderstorm warning associated with this storm. We could see winds in excess of 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail, and of course some heavy rain. This storm has already produced flash flooding in Lewiston, where they picked up nearly 3/4 of an inch of rain in just 1 hour. So flood watches are still posted through midnight for north central and northeastern Washington and the entire Idaho Panhandle. Spokane is not in this watch, but we could still see a period of heavy rain as those showers move through this evening. Temperatures much cooler today in the 60s and 70s, but the humidity is much higher. We have dew points in the upper 50s and 60s, and basically what that means is when you have a dew point the mid 50s or higher, it starts to feel a little bit muggy outside. Not terribly common here in the inland northwest, but we certainly have a lot of moisture in the air. So certainly feeling that today, and we'll likely feel that through the weekend. Short-term forecast shows chance of thunderstorms through this evening. Temperatures will fall into the upper 50s and lower 60s overnight. Still have to keep a chance of showers and thunderstorms for Saturday and Sunday, but much less coverage than the last couple of days. Highs will be in the mid 70s to the lower 80s.
Well, just hours ago, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students walked into a Latah County courtroom. Brian Coburger joined his lawyer for 2 hearings today related to the non-dissemination order in the murder case. So right now, the order prohibits investigators, law enforcement, and all attorneys that are interested parties in the case from publicly discussing it. This includes attorneys representing the victims' families. Our chief journalist, Amanda Rowley, was in court today. She joins us now live outside the Latah County Courthouse. Amanda, can you explain the focus of the 2 hearings today?
Yeah, Tom, these 2 hearings, we know the first one started this morning, and it focused on clarifying what attorneys who are representing the victims' families can say under this current non-dissemination order. The second hearing, which we just got out of, it started this afternoon. It was a hearing for a coalition, media coalition, and they were fighting for improved or more access to public information in this case. Now, the first hearing, we got to hear from Shannon Gray. He is the attorney representing the family of Kaylee Gonsalves. That's one of the 4 University of Idaho students who was murdered. Now, Shannon Gray told the judge the order issued in this case made him believe that he should tell his clients to be quiet. He argues his clients are not witnesses in the case and therefore should be free to speak about it through him. Take a listen.
I'm not asking as a witness to the case, which witness to the case, they've never ever told us in any way how we would be witnesses in this case, other than the conjecture that we may have potentially. That's not good enough to stop the free speech of the victim's family as well as myself.
Well, Amanda, what can you tell us about Coburger actually having to be in court today?
Yeah, Tom, actually, this was the first time in the court proceedings that we've covered. This is the first time we've seen Brian Coburger in the courtroom with a suit rather than his orange jumpsuit that he wears from the Latah County Jail. Other than that, his demeanor, he walked into the courtroom. It's been the same as we've seen him before. He walks straight into the courtroom, greets his attorneys, maybe with a grin. Today looked like he had a grin, smiled and said hello, sat down, and he just stared straight forward, showing no emotion. Now, before I send it back to you though, Tom, I did want to mention in that first hearing today, the Judge John Judge, wanted to take the time to apologize to the victims' families for mispronouncing their names at the arraignment, which we were at in May. He said he was a bit sick the night before and quite frankly a bit nervous in that hearing, and it caused him to fumble the pronunciation of the victims' names, and for that he wanted to get on the record and apologize to the families. Reporting from the Latah County Courthouse, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
A long day for you, Amanda. Thank you very much. This all comes as a recent change in the trial is leading to some questions about the court process. When suspect Brian Coburger first appeared in Idaho court in January, it was before Judge Megan Marshall. But then at his last arraignment last month, Judge John Judge oversaw the proceedings. The switch led one viewer to ask whether the judge change was unexpected. Coming up on KREM 2 News at 6 o'clock, our Verify team digs deeper and explains why there was a change in judges and whether it was a surprise or not. Well, after a week that he was reported missing, the Pierce County Medical Examiner has confirmed that the body found on Mount Rainier is that of 80-year-old Dawes Eddy from Spokane. Rescue crews found his body in a crevasse on Tuesday after days of searching. His cause and manner of death are still pending. Eddy was a pillar of the Spokane hiking community. He was climbing Mount Rainier for the 50th time, all to celebrate his 80th birthday.